What's going on, guys? So this time we're going to be reviewing something new that I'm actually very excited for, and it is the Figurise Standard Bandai Plastic Model Kit Kamen Rider Build Rabbit Tank Form. And I'm a bit of a fair weather kind of Kamen Rider build, or damn it. And I'm kind of a fair weather fan of Kamen Rider. I like a lot of the stuff. I haven't seen a whole lot of the actual series, but this one I followed a little bit. Also, I watched tons of reviews on the toys, the figures, the different drivers and stuff like that. I actually really do like the idea of Kamen Rider. It goes beyond the way Power Rangers did things and stuff. And because this is Kamen Rider Build, there's a builder theme to it, and that thing was actually really cool. So on the front here, we have him in his rabbit tank form, which is the blue and the red. So you get rabbit there, tank there, yay! And I believe it was called the drill slasher. I have to look at it again. I forgot what the name of the sword thing is, but it's really very cool. And you know it's got to be a hero, right? Because he's primary colors. And you got toy right there. You got illustration by Yamashita Takato. Plex. Cool. Oh yeah, Bandai 2018. And we come to the bottom of your Kamen Rider Build, Rabbit Tank Form, obligatory front and rear shot there. It says, now we shall begin the experiment. And you got adjust the movable joint to create dynamic action poses. Comes with 4 hands, parts for crafting, and for crafting a variety of realistic poses. Sorry, hard to read, very tiny. And you actually see little injection molded thingies. It's actually a very cool thing. And you got clear parts for eyes and full bottles. And you got Drill Crusher. Did I say Drill Slasher? Either way, Drill Crusher is included in Blade Mode and Gun Mode and can be recreated by placing parts. That's actually very cool. And come around here. And you got Kamen Rider Build. Figurise Standard. Bandai. And come back to the final side, and you've got him chilling out there, and a read-up right there on how he became Kamen Rider Build. Go ahead and read that if you want. Go ahead and pause the screen for a minute. And you got Stand for Display. And Figurise effect parts. So if you actually have the effect Blast Wave Yellow, which actually is out now, you can make him do that, which is actually pretty cool. And you got polybags, a little bit of a toilet, and you got instruction manual, stuff like that. 3,000 yen, so about 30 some odd dollars, $35 probably on the high end. Be pretty cool. And I picked this thing up at Hobbytown, Houston. So shout out to those guys for having these cool things and things. So you're not even Gunpla, still upside down. Now guys, I was actually going to have a build montage for this so that I could have a Kamen Rider build montage. And it just didn't work out. I actually ended up doing this on a build day with my friends that came over last week. So yay for that. So let's go ahead and get to this guy and see how awesome he really is. Kamen Rider Build! Alright guys, here we have Kamen Rider Build. This was a lot of fun. It really was. Since I've built so much Gunpla lately, especially to get Double October done, this was a breath of fresh air that I absolutely needed. I needed something to change it up, and this thing was so cool. It is my first real Figurise Standard build, no pun intended. There will be a lot of build accidental puns. I do have a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I just have not gotten around to building it, although that's going to be a little bit different. So this is my first one ever built. He does come in his traditional blue, red, and black molded plastics. You do get some cool clear parts up here for his eyes or visor, or however you want to say it. And these are actually very cool. So they actually have a molded insectoid-like texture, and then it has a chrome sticker that goes to the back side. So the chrome faces inward, and on the back it's black, like so. Now that's actually pretty neat. The hard part is right here on the rabbit ear, it does tend to split. Now I did consider using my chrome marker for that, but I like the idea that it has the black on the back side, even on there on the tank barrel. Looks very cool. The plastics are for the most part a red metallic and a blue metallic, and you do get plenty of stickers, especially like here and here and here and here, oh, and here and there. and everywhere. So, like even the forearms, you can see right here, this did not come out super great. So these forearm stickers aren't the best, but the illusion is sort of there when you're just not looking at it. I actually would have preferred it if the arm was completely molded in blue and then I could have painted the black, because I couldn't match that blue. I did do a little bit of painting on this guy right here on the build Dreba. So it comes with a lot of stickers. So you can see right here on the front, these little gears, those are stickers. You can't paint them on because essentially there's nothing molded. However, these pipes here were part of that. I just cut it off. This has chrome paint here, and the little part of the driver right there had a chrome sticker. I replaced it with actual chrome paint to make it match. It looks really good. The handle is actually molded all in red, so you have to add the little black bit there for accuracy. It comes with this little Kamen Rider Build sticker there, and this one right here underneath the full bottles. Now, the full bottles themselves actually got some paint just at the top and the bottom. I used that kind of metallic-ish gray color that comes from the IBO sets for the top and the bottom to actually make them look like the full bottles they're supposed to be. And the pegs that they plug onto, I hit with a little chrome paint to add a little reflection whenever the light hits them. So I think that looks really, really good. And I did compare it to, I have a Kamen Rider fan locally here who showed me off his Figurise one, so I tried to make a match to the Figurise. Now I did add, it's going to be hard to see there, you can see the reflection of it. I did add a little bit of that same metallic paint inside the bottle holders here, just because. Now I could have probably painted the yellow on the belt, but as you guys probably know by now, yellow is one of the worst things ever to try to paint. However, it did occur to me after the fact to have a yellow paint, but it was much darker than this actually is. But I like the primary colors going on here. It looks pretty cool. Now on the legs, you do get a little bit more in the way of stickers. So this bottom stripe here on the blue, as you guys can see, is another sticker. This one's actually not too bad. The white over here on this leg is all stickers, and it's really not that bad until you see it. If you see the seam line, like right there, that's the only time it really breaks it up. Otherwise, it's pretty good. And once again, wasn't about to try to paint that spirally thing with white paint. That would have been a huge, huge mess. Now, one thing I love, I figured this out after the fact, the bottom of his feet, because he's supposed to be half tank, half rabbit, right? Where are you focused? So he's got tank treads here. There's his Kamen Rider gear, or Kamen Rider Build gear logo. And then he's got a rabbit foot on this side. That's really friggin' cool. And then you can see the shoes themselves are different. This one looks more mechanical. It even has tank treads on the top of the foot. I dig it. I dig it a lot. He's a pretty cool figure, pretty cool Kamen Rider. And had I actually gotten into the figure line, because they actually have the I forget what it's actually called, but basically it has a center core that is black, and then each colored section does swap. So he actually, well, I take that back. He has two halves. Each one has its set of colors, and the figure itself splits in half to make it happen. And you actually get a mix and match effect, just like you can in the series, where he mixes and matches his full bottles to bring up different powers. So Rabbit Tank makes him speedy and powerful, kind of. So I like it, and it looks fantastic. Now we'll talk accessories real quick. So he does come with two left hands that are blue. One is a fist, as you can see here, sort of. If my camera would figure out where to focus. So it looks pretty good. You do got some panel lining in there. And the hands are easy enough to swap out. There is just a poly cap there in the wrist. However, the big problem is it's supposed to stay in the wrist hole. It tends to come off. I don't think they planned that out very well. I would have much rather had a bunch of poly caps that I can just put on the hands, like so. Oh, this thing just looks so cool. Now, he does come with extra right hands, because the Kamen Riders tend to be right-handed. So he has a kind of relaxed, expressive hand. The weapon holding hand, which we'll get to here in a minute, and also another fist. And then the attitude hand. Not exactly sure what he's supposed to be doing with that hand, but hey, it looks cool. Real quick, I'm going to pull this off. Stay. And you can do it with this expressive hand, but you can actually, because you have to crank the build driver to activate his attacks and stuff like that, you can kind of simulate that by putting the hand on the handle. And yes, the handle does actually spin. Of course, none of the other stuff happens, but hey, it is what it is. If you want to see a whole lot of things about Kamen Rider Build and all that, go watch MGo's channels. He has big old Kamen Rider playlists. So I'm going to go ahead and put the weapon holding hand in his hand for the time being. Stay. And we'll pull out the Drill Crusher. It's a very cool weapon, very strange weapon. Once again, camera doesn't know where to focus. I got to figure something out here. There we go. Of course, I move it 1 inch. So it's all molded in black along here, and then you get stickers. You get the gauge right there, so he knows how powerful the attack is going to be, I guess. And you get a little bit of red sticker there, yellow sticker there, and then the drill body itself, while molded in silver, does get these yellow stickers, which actually aren't terrible. If you really wanted to go through the trouble of hand painting or going ahead and masking off those edges and stuff like that, and then go ahead and spray it, that'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of molded detail, but even on the thing itself, it's not super detailed color-wise. Now, I like the fact that they leave this gap open here, because these things can accept full bottles and or other things for extra power-ups. So in drill mode, it's like this, but if you want to go into blaster mode, pull it off. It is keyed to fit only a certain way. You just swatch it out, like so. And now it looks like a peeled banana. Like I said, if you want to, you can totally paint that. But it's a cool weapon. Kamen Rider weapons especially can be pretty neat. This one is kind of limited, but still pretty cool in its own right. I would like to see more of the riders from this series. There was a few. And I think we're supposed to be getting the... I forgot if he said it was Cross Z. There was a few different versions of that. I think Cross Z is eventually his ultimate kind of form. Prying open the hand is actually not as easy as it is on some Gunpla, and I can actually appreciate that. But when you're trying to put a weapon in your hand and it's fighting you, it's kind of annoying. There we go. Okay. So, no big deal. Just take the hand. There's no pegs or anything, so it's just kind of line it up and close the hand around it. You guys know the drill, right? Yeah. Puns. And now he's got the drill slasher. And there goes the hand. I think part of it is that the fitment might be a little loose, but I don't know. He's pretty posable. I do dig it. Speaking of posing, let's talk posability. Alright, so the head is on a bit of a ball joint and then a swivel down here at the neck, so he can look really far down. He can look a little bit up. Does rotate pretty much all the way around. Just got to clear the collar a little bit. And even a little side-to-side motion. And some turkey neck. Shoulders. Very much like an HG Gundam. You do have the polycap that is stuck there along with that, so you can get a decent shrug. You just got to get it to cooperate like so. And the shoulder armor itself does flip-flop up to give you a little bit more maneuverability, but if not, you can just rotate and then rotate, and you can get a high teacher. Hi, my name is Kamen Rider Build. All that goodness there. So, like bicep rotation, as we saw. Double jointed elbow. Not quite 90 degrees. Don't think it's going to get a whole lot, but not quite. It's not even close to... Well, it's actually, no, I take it back. It's past 90 degrees. That would be 90. So, past 90 degrees. So, that's good. Sometimes English doesn't work for me. And you guys should know by now how the rims work. He does have an ab crunch inside here, so he can move back and forth. And the waist allows him to move around quite a bit. Kamen Riders need to be very flexible, being superhuman and all. Oh, by the way, I missed it. This is actually a sticker right there with that little chrome part. So, yay for that. The torso, oh, you can see already some of that sticker is peeling. The hips, you can rotate. The hips are on kind of a weird system. So it's not a ball joint. They are pegged in. And each one is individually on its own, like, swivel up and down. So he can go this far for a Jean-Claude. He can kick pretty far forward, pretty much straight on. His butt's going to get in the way for kicking backwards, but that's also how that keeps happening there. A lot of these edges of these stickers are going to peel, and it's going to be annoying. But you can see he can drop the hip down and kick it back up. Just whatever you kind of need. He does have thigh rotation, although there is there's no movement up there. I'm imagining things. So thigh rotation and double jointed knee get you that far, although that leg armor is splitting. So they do the leg armor pretty much there, and then you've got the same seam line all the way down. If you were going to paint this thing, you would need to seam line the legs and the arms, and then paint your bits. And then the foot is not even a ball joint. It's a weird diagonal offset, two ends of a polycap. One goes up this way, one comes down into the foot. And you can rotate the foot like that, and then you can do that, plus you get a little bit of ankle tilt. So if you really need to, you could spread him out, though. He is going to have a little bit of trouble standing. Like, sometimes you get the foot at an angle, and it's just like, no, I'm not really going to stand that way. So, very posable, very good for Figurise. So, basically, it's a dumbed-down Figuarts, kind of. It's basically a build-your-own Figuarts, but with a little bit less detail, and of course, you have to paint quite a lot of the detail. Now, I skipped over one of the accessories, the big accessory, in fact, because it comes into play now when we want to get into posing. And you get a cool Figurise stand. So you get this nice, clear base with a ton of holes in it. This is just a little clippy part here for attaching a separate one if you're going to do that. You do have the adjustable neck, so it's got... I don't like this about them. It's only an octagon. I'm sorry. It's only an octagon shape, and that isn't very strong. So it's only got so many teeth, and it can round itself over. I found myself accidentally turning it without pulling it apart first, and that will totally take all the strength out of it. Now, you do get 4 of these little guys here, though for this case, you're not really going to use them. They're just sitting here. The other 2 are actually back in the box. But basically, you get lots and lots of pegs. So lots of Figurise stuff can work with this, Tamashii effects, all that. And you have the adapter for the back. There's nowhere to plug in a crotch hole, so that doesn't really work very well. Now, if you really want to, just to show this off, it does come with a little peg like that that does work on HG Gundams. I've used this in the last review to get a couple shots of the John Ultron. So, here we go. Now he's on a stand. I gotta lift it up a little bit. Actually, let's tone that down just a hair so we can see the stand. There we go. Instead of being blindingly white. I mean, mind you, a lot of times you don't want to see the stand, but hey, it's totally there. So if you want to, you can lower it down and get him into just kind of standing there so he's not fully on his joints, so to speak. But one thing we want to do, we want to put this guy into his rider kick. So we want to turn the head down like that, get this arm kind of up like so, tuck this arm kind of back. Want to get this leg kicked outward, and if you get a little bit of bend, the knee goes that way just a hair, and the foot tilts inward just a hair. So if you drop it down and tilt it up as far as it'll go, tilt the hips just a little bit. Now using a bunch of joints on this side and rotating, tilt this foot inward to where it's like that. And you basically have him doing his rider kick. Or, as they call it, his vortex finish. Now you can move the arms just a little bit, however you need to. You know, just the idea is to be kicking downward and sort of looking. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Let me come down here. And if you combined it with those Tamashii effects like they were showing off, if you had them, you just want to turn that and then do that. Or you could also lower the camera a little. Hold on, let me actually, there we go, get some brightness back. This is a very, very fun build. A very, very fun figure. A very, very fun kit. I dig it. Like, I've forgotten realistically that it is a model kit because it's so posable. The details are so good. It really does just seem like an action figure. And just for a comparison real quick, there he is next to an HG Gundam. So, I mean, he's no bigger than an HG Gundam really would be. So, he's pretty cool in that size. They do have the Master Grade Figurise ones as well. They have a ton of them, actually. So, I mean, it just comes down to what you're really after. But I like Build. It's the last series that came out before the new one just started. If they do Kamen Rider Ghost, I will be absolutely excited because Ghost was one of my favorite ones in recent years. I'm not a big fan of X-Aid, although it does have some interesting aesthetics and stuff like that. That would be a complicated model if they wanted to do X-Aid. But I hope they do more versions of him because he has so many different forms, so many different combinations. And essentially, they're all just going to be swappable parts and swappable colors. So the feet would be different, the colors on the legs would be different, the full bottles would be different, and then just the details, especially for the visors, would all be different. And in the case of Hawk Gatling, he would have wings. So, I mean, there's several different things you can go with this, and of course, if he gets into his like powered up modes, like it'd be even crazier. But so far this year, this has been one of my favorite builds, and it's this late in the year, so that's saying something. But guys, final thoughts wise, get you this kit. Whether you're a Kamen Rider fan or you're just a builder, it's worth it. And if you can actually manage to match these colors, or if you're going to paint them all entirely, which is an obvious thing you can do, I think it's absolutely worth it. Though the stickers themselves are not that bad for the average builder or even the beginner. So it is what it is. There's almost no good way to, or no bad way to pose this guy and have him just chilling. That's just very cool in and of its own right there. See, you look cool either way. It's just fun. That's one thing that was different for this. I had fun with this one. I had the ability to chill and do something new that I had never done. Plus, it was something I was, really interested in because I know a bit about the character in the series. Not a lot, I admit it, but I know enough to know what I like about it. It's definitely fun, definitely worth it. Although it looks like his torso was splitting right there. I just realized that. Let's go ahead and push that back together. I will say sometimes there's some fitment issues, and other things he kind of wants to fall over backwards a lot. I think it's just because the heels aren't quite lined up. Here we go. That's what I was going for, was the reverse stance. And he can do an A stance and he wants to fall over. It's kind of annoying. Oh, by the way, yeah, just go ahead and compare him to Wally just from another size comparison. It's not too fair, but I guess it's about the same. And I think he'll technically fit in with a 6-inch line. He's not, if I remember correctly, Imgo did compare this guy to an actual Figuarts, and it was close, size-wise. You're not going to be able to swap things out and stuff like that, but it is similar. So take that as you may. But guys, if you enjoy this, if you're interested in it, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up right there. Hit that subscribe button if you're totally into build here. I want to get more if they exist. And I know there's other kits for Kamen Rider. I want one that I'm more interested in, not the older. Like, if there's not a series that I'm not interested in, I kind of don't want to get it. Ghost would be a lot of fun because of the hoodie aspect and the icons and all the fun things. And painting on the details and stuff aren't that hard. Either way, that was a final thought that snuck its way in there. But guys, go check out the Shoky shirts. You can totally get any of the normal Shoky shirts, including the Subscribe-ish shirt, which came out back in September. And if you still didn't get a chance to get any Double October gear, it's not going anywhere. It's totally still there. You can even get the throwback shirts if you want. And guys, if you want to check out the Patreon and really, really help support the channel, even for $5 a month, it will totally help keep things moving forward. And I absolutely need every little bit I can help from you guys. Whether it's buying t-shirts or whether it's, doing the Patreon, any of that absolutely does help to keep this channel moving forward. And I want to be able to keep doing stuff for you guys. And that is honestly the only way it's going to happen now. So, but I'll catch you guys on that next review. And remember, as always, keep on building. Ah!